I haven't opened it yet. But who's ready for the biggest moment of the year?
Season 2 of High School Musical, the musical, the series, left us with some cliffhangers, so let's break it all down and see how the season ended. What's going on, Wildcats? Lisa here, and it's time to break down the Season 2 finale of HSMTMTS titled Second Chances. Now, our characters have gone through quite the ups and downs this whole season, so we gotta wonder what's gonna happen with the Mankeys. What will happen with our relationships? Let's find out. So in case you came to this video without watching the whole season just to see how it ended, because I know people are curious, we're gonna go through a quick recap of what's happened so far. If you want more in-depth episode by episode recaps, the playlist is down in the description, and if you want to skip ahead to just the finale episode recap, you can use the little chapter time codes that it shows on the timeline or the time code down in the description. Alright, so real quick, Season 2. Ricky and Nene went on another roller coaster of emotions. Nene went off to Yak, and the two tried to make this long distance work, but they ended up just growing apart. Nene decided to return to East High and ended up finding a new calling with her music as she saw her original music start to take off online. Ricky seemed to get a bit jealous, but also he expected Nene to want to spend all her time with him and wasn't ready for all the changes in his life, which also included his dad wanting to date Miss Jen. Ricky and Nene eventually broke up and are working towards navigating this friendship. East High was supposed to do High School Musical 2 as their musical this semester, but that changed when Miss Jen's ex Zach took on a role at the theater department at rival school North High. Now the schools ended up entering the Mankeys, which are awards for excellence in high school theater, and it became an all-out brawl. Not really, but you know what I mean. East High changed their show to Beauty and the Beast, while North High was supposed to do The Little Mermaid, but then changed to Beauty and the Beast as well. New East High mean girl Lily didn't get the lead in the show. She lost to Ashlyn for Belle, so she decided to transfer to North High and wanted to take down East High while doing it, while also making some moves on Ricky. Courtney has this whole plan to be an independent woman, and she takes a job at Salt Lake Slices, but ends up meeting a very mysterious boy named Howie, who she develops a crush on. It's mutual. Then she discovers he goes to North High and is starring as the Beast in their production, and it causes some trust issues. Then when he comes to see Courtney in the East High show, he starts to get a little weird. As for Big Red and Ashlyn, they are as cute as ever, but run into some bumps when North High's French exchange student shows an interest in Ashlyn, but thankfully she seems to only have eyes for Big Red. Carlos and Seb, also as cute as ever, but run into some trouble when Seb thinks Carlos is only with him because he's the only choice at this school. They also come from different, classes. Carlos makes family, has a little bit more money than Seb's, who works on a farm. But they work it out, and you really should go watch Carlos's Quinceañero episode because it's beautiful. Gina pined after Ricky, but he only saw her as a friend and always talked to her to get advice about Nene. Gina was finally over that. He tells Ricky to talk to someone else about Nene. She and EJ then start to form a closer friendship, and that may just be something more until Gina's brother tells EJ that Gina looks at him like a big brother. EJ also doesn't get into Duke and finds a new passion with the AV club. Mr. Mazzara keeps crushing on Miss Jen from afar, and Miss Jen tries to date Ricky's dad, but Ricky doesn't like it, so they call it off for Ricky's sake. North High tries to sabotage East High's show a few times by stealing the Beast mask, and then on opening night stealing Ricky's harness so he can't do his transformation the way they had planned. And now, it seems like we have to see if East High pulled off Ricky's Beast transformation, so I think I got most of the stuff. Let's dive into this finale episode. If I missed anything, you can go watch my other recaps. Alright, so the finale opens with the show being over. We don't get to see Ricky's Beast transformation, but Courtney tells us how it went.
Oh my god, y'all, Ricky's transformation.
Wait, how'd it look?
Honestly? Passable!
I mean, after all they went through this season and that last minute change, I think they're gonna take passable. Now, Ashlyn seems to be having a hard time celebrating her big night because Big Red's pretty much been MIA most of the show when he's not on stage. I think she just kind of feels like maybe Big Red wasn't there for her, even though there were shots of him watching her perform from the side stage and he looked so excited. But the guys tell Ashlyn that Big Red left her a bunch of letters in her locker. So Ashlyn goes out into the hall and we see what Big Red's side hustle that was teased the last episode is, what he's been working on.
I've always seen your name in lights.
This is what you were doing in between scenes all night.
Yeah? No. Sometimes I was actually puking. You were the perfect Belle tonight. I was really proud.
How freaking cute is Big Red? And I just also love that Ashlyn calls him Biggie. Like, these two are just adorable together. As for Courtney and Howie, she just straight up tells him after the show how it's going to be. She tells him, even calling him Howard, so you know it's serious, that if she doesn't measure up in some way, that she wants to know now, so she doesn't waste her time on him, and she's not in for any more secrets and stuff. Howie then tells her that he got all weird because he was blown away by her, kind of intimidated, even though he doesn't say the word intimidated, and he says she makes him nervous in a good way, and he's never felt this way before, and he's not used to it, but he wants to keep this going. Well, Courtney seems to accept this apology, as does her mom, who is hilarious watching it all take place from behind them.
Happy now?
Yes. Sorry.
I mean, we see where Courtney gets her amazing personality from, and I think we're gonna need more of Courtney's mom next season. So it seems like they're all good, right? And they head off to Salt Lake Slices for the after party. But I don't know if I'm fully believing Howie's excuse there, but I'll talk about that more after this recap. As for the phone call that Mr. Mazzara got during the show in the last episode, it does end up being related to EJ in a way. It was Caltech who called Mr. Mazzara to offer him a position in the doctorate program for robotics. He says that the school's financial advisor, aka EJ's dad, spoke very highly of Mr. M.
It's quite generous, son.
Well, it's not being generous when it's just doing what you can.
And well, that little exchange echoes what Mr. Mazzara told EJ the last episode.
It's not a favor. It's just doing what you can.
Mr. Mazzara says he doesn't know what he's going to do yet as he watches Miss Jen walk by. So will he shoot a shot, or will he just have this, crush from afar and move on to get his other dream of robotics? Well, as Mr. Mazzara walks away, Gina finds EJ in the hall and she is pumped and ready for the risotto date, but EJ ends up canceling it and says, let's play it by ear instead of rescheduling. And Gina plays it off like, okay, yeah, cool, but she's upset, as is EJ. She then goes to the dressing room where she is crying as Nene walks by. Nene asks Gina what's wrong, and Gina opens up to her about EJ canceling on her.
You are a force of nature. You have this energy about you that's so
Off-putting?
powerful. And I'd say any guy would be lucky to have you, but that's not the point. Truth is, we're all lucky to know you.
Gina tells Nene that she's doing that whole lifting other people up again thing, and then Gina apologizes for the whole Ricky chocolate situation. Nene then says that she wasn't upset about that related to Ricky, she was upset about that whole situation when it comes to her and Gina. She thought that her and Gina were in a place where Gina could trust her 100% instead of hiding things from her. Well, Gina says she does trust Nene, and then this happens.
Our show would have been better, by the way, if you could have sung the Rose song tonight.
I don't know about that.
Have you ever thought about taking your songwriting to the next level?
What are you asking me?
There's someone I think you should meet.
As for Ricky and Nene, they finally fill out their cards for each other and exchange them. It seems like they both wrote the same thing. I don't really know how that happens, but their cards basically express that here's to second chances and new beginnings, and maybe they're on the same page now.
Just for a moment.
Yeah, that little callback, she says, just for a moment, call back to the song, just for a moment. It's like, they're really messing with our hearts here, right? While all the kids, though, seem satisfied with how the show of Beauty and the Beast went, Miss Jen is obviously still freaking out because the Mankeys are still around the corner. 25% of the score for the Mankeys will occur at the actual ceremony where the schools face off and perform again. And she's just so obsessed with beating North High that the stress is making her crazy. Ricky then stops by Miss Jen's office where she's pacing back and forth waiting for this Mankeys judge to give her the results for the nominations.
But, I'm not sure that I didn't push you kids too hard this semester.
Yeah, you think, Miss Jen, you need to calm down just a little, but I know that she's got, her heart's in a good place. Ricky then tells Miss Jen after everything that's happened this year, he sees that his dad is happy with Miss Jen, so he gives her his blessing if they want to date.
And I'm starting to realize no one should be able to tell anyone who they can or can't take a chance on.
Now, when Miss Jen asks Ricky if he's happy, he hesitates a little, but says he thinks he's getting there and says here's to second chances. Yeah, the word second chances is used a lot in this episode, hence the name of the episode. But also, if you were playing a drinking game or something, you'd probably be wasted by now. But this whole conversation leads to another amazing song from the second season called, well, as you expected, Second Chances, which is sung by Ricky, EJ, Gina, and Nene. Now we see them transform into their outfits that we first met them in season 1. I think with the exception of Gina, who is wearing one of her iconic jackets from season 1, but I'm not sure if she wore that whole ensemble before, but that doesn't matter. They're still wearing season 1 looks. They even sing a part of their song wearing the outfits from the audition scene, just kind of echoing where they were at the beginning of the show as to where they are now, where they're getting their second chances. The song is beautiful. I wish I could play it for you, but you know how quickly these record labels copyright things, even if you play like 5 seconds now, I feel like it. But it is a beautiful song. All the songs this season have been awesome, but this one is really good, so go look it up, go watch it. I'll put a link to the video down below. But essentially, each character is kind of singing about their second chances and their struggles this semester. Nini is finding out who she wants to be, Ricky's kind of ready to begin again, EJ thought he knew what he wanted, but now his plans have changed and he's starting over, and Gina has always had these walls up and she thinks it's safer when she's running away, so does she break these walls down again for someone else or just keep them up? It's a great song, and it leads into the after party where we go to Slices, where Lily and Antoine from North High crash to actually congratulate East High, but as expected, they're pretty much met with booze and then asked to leave. You know, Ricky says it's a private party and they should go, but he walks them to the door, and not before Lily can put her moves on Ricky one more time.
I like you, Ricky. I like your big brown eyes and your big round hair.
Lily, look.
Okay, I'm just saying, sometimes people deserve a second chance.
Yep, another mention of second chances. Well, Lily, here's the thing. I think you're gonna need a million chances because Ricky doesn't even know you stole his harness yet. But moving on. The kids are all hanging out and realize that this competition has kind of brought out the worst in some people. Even Miss Jen stressed them out, and they, at this point, don't care if they win or lose. They are just happy that they did this whole show together, got through it, and bonded. Even EJ says he would trade all the trophies he's won from his, years of life for the group. So now, how do they tell Miss Jen that they don't want to be a part of the Mankeys? Well, Miss Jen walks in with the envelope of the Mankeys nominations and...
Maybe we don't need or want to see what's in the envelope?
Oh, thank God. I had to stop 4 times on the way here because I was physically ill.
Well, it seems like just like that, they decide to drop out of the Mankeys, and Courtney goes to burn the envelope without opening it in the pizza oven. We don't see that envelope burn. Might be one of our cliffhangers. I don't know. I'll talk about that more after this recap. Now, Miss Jen, she seems to immediately relax, and she asks Mr. Mazzara if he's really going to leave all these kids and go to the school, go to Caltech, and he finally spits out what he's wanted to all season.
Well, to be honest, the only thing keeping me from running to California is...
Earthquakes.
You. Us. Or the possibility of us. Unless, you have a better offer.
Well, now we're getting our cliffhangers because we don't see what Miss Jen responds, so we move on to Nini. Gina tells Nini that Jamie, her brother, the hotshot music producer played by Jordan Fisher, is expecting a call from Nini, and, well, she makes that call. Ricky also gives someone a call. It's Lily. As for Gina and EJ, Ashlyn says that EJ snuck out, but she talked to him before he left, and she apologizes for giving Gina the wrong advice this whole season.
If I had known you thought of him as a big brother, I would have given you some very different advice this semester.
Okay. Wait, what?
Yeah, Gina's now realizing why EJ was acting all weird, so she runs out after him, telling him he got bad intel. Then she asks a big question.
Can I kiss you? Will you be my first kiss?
I mean, that's pretty sweet, right? Like, we don't see if they actually kiss, but I'm pretty sure the creator of the show in interviews has said that they do. It's canon, they kiss, but we couldn't see it, mainly probably due to COVID restrictions. And then, well, the episode ends in a perfect way.
Buckle up, Wildcats. This summer's about to get hot.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yes, Natalie and Antoine. That's perfect. I loved Natalie all season. I think we need more of her, but adding Antoine to that mix, he really is a scene stiller that I wish we had gotten to see more of. And then the episode actually ends with a lot of bloopers, as well as the cast surprising Tim Federle, the creator, with a performance of You Are the Music and Me, which is great. Everybody cries. You should go watch that as well. But yeah, this leaves so many possibilities for another season. But those are the main events of this episode, so now let's talk about it. Alright, so if there's a season 3, that little bit at the end makes it seem like it would be a summer episode, which would kind of make sense and allow EJ to stick around before he heads off to college somewhere. It would also make it easier for the North High trio that we met this season to interact with the Wildcats more, since school wouldn't be eating up all their time. And then, what happens with the Mankeys? While they say they burned this envelope, we didn't see it happen, and I feel like if you don't see it happen, it's not 100% done. Plus, I feel like these nominations would probably be posted online somewhere, so they'd find out eventually. I just gotta wonder, do they truly drop out of it? Are they just saying that right now? Maybe they'll have a change of heart, and after everyone's calmed down and they decide a new game plan, they'll continue it. I don't know. Now, when it comes to Miss Jen's love life, she seemed to light up when Ricky gave her his blessing to date his dad, but she also seemed to light up when Mr. Mazzara expressed his feelings. So it's kind of like, who is she going to choose? Will Mr. Mazzara maybe give it this summer to see what happens with him and Miss Jen before going to Caltech? I don't know. Now, when it comes to Ricky and Lily, he's had chemistry with her all season. Actually, he has chemistry with Nene, Gina, and Lily. But he's kept Lily at a distance, but then did seem to kind of stick up for her a few times. So I think he's curious about this, you know, but is he just falling for a trap? It's kind of hard to tell when Lily's being authentic. She asks for the second chance, and it seems like Ricky's willing to give it to her because, you know, he calls her at the end of this episode. But he still doesn't know that she took the harness. Nobody does, except her and North High probably. I'm guessing Howie. If that comes out, will it change his tune about her? He's about to date, if he dates her, a girl that all of his friends hate, which is not going to go well. So are they going to date in secret? Is Lily actually changed? I don't know what would have made that change all of a sudden. I think that's a story that we really have to explore, but a lot of secrets there could come out still. And for Howie and Courtney, he says he was acting weird because he was intimidated by her and was falling for her, which was new for her. But it also seemed like the previous episode he was acting weird because he was like maybe being the lookout for Lily while she stole the harness. Like when they were in the hallway, he kept looking off to the left, like he was being like, what's happening over there? I think there's something more there, and I think maybe he saw how great Courtney was on stage, and so he regrets being a part of anything that happened with this North High drama, and now he's trying to make up for it because he does like her. But I don't know. I don't think he's fully innocent or out of the doghouse yet. I think there could be some secrets that could come out there, which Courtney said she doesn't want any more secrets, but I think it may happen. For Gina and EJ, if it is a summer season for season 3, it seems like they'll maybe get to explore that whole relationship. I know some fans are on board with this relationship, some aren't. There's obviously a 2-year age gap, but I just hope that if there is a season 3, there's more amazing original music because the show really stepped it up, and I love that this show has seemed to settle into its own identity and is not really actually tied to the original franchise as much as I think the pressure of it was the first season. It's kind of turned into its own thing. I mean, all this original music is amazing, and with the summer season, there would be no theater shows for them to participate in, right? Unless the Mankeys happen, or maybe they come together for some theater program. So I feel like we get to really focus more on each of these characters without that there. We would get to know them as people a little bit more. But yeah, I know this season had to deal with a whole lot. You know, you had the pandemic, so maybe this season didn't go in the original direction the writers wanted, or maybe they did. I don't know, but I think they pulled off something really good, and it was a fun season. I think there's still hope for Ricky and Nene, for those of you who like that couple. And I mean, it's kind of realistic. Couples in high school, how many of them stay together, and how many of them move on to somebody the next day? I mean, it happens, you know. There are those offshoots where people stay together. I know that there's a couple of people I went to high school with that are still with their high school sweethearts. So it can happen, but also realistically, a lot of teenagers date multiple people. Who knows? I think down the line, once Ricky and Nene both mature a little bit more, they could have a shot together again. But yeah, I think that's going to make it a wrap for my What Happened episodes for HSMTMTS Season 2. What did you think about this season? What about those cliffhangers? And what are your predictions for Season 3? How about favorite Season 2 moments? Did I leave anything out that you wanted to talk about? Let me know. I'll be hanging out here. Don't forget to subscribe, because if there's any Season 3 news, I will let you know. And I got more videos over there that you can check out if you want to go check out my interviews from, you know, before the season or anything else. They're right over there. But as always, my name is Lisa. Thanks so much for hanging out with me and listening to me ramble, and I guess I'll see you for the next season, because there better be a Season 3.